Good morning! Vault Tec calling. I'm here today to tell you that because of your family service to our country, you have been pre-selected for entrance into the local vault.
The local vault, an underground bunker where you and your family can go, supposedly to be safe, to avoid the potential of getting blown away by nuclear bombs. The idea that you can save yourself, but at what cost? Think about in today's money, how much would they charge for somebody to go into one of these vaults, for you to have a space for you and your spouse and your child? How much would that cost? I mean, you're going to go somewhere for potentially the rest of your lives, a place where you will have food, a place to live, a community to be involved with. $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. How much would that cost? And on top of it, there's no guarantee that the vaults would even necessarily be needed. It's not like you or I, the common person waking up in your home on Saturday morning, would know for sure that the war was about to occur. How much would it cost? How much would you value that sense of security and a place to go when something like that happens? I'm not sure the numbers. The Fallout games don't give us a specific amount of money and how much saving your family would cost in that world. And that's just one way to look at the value of that. But there's another side to this. Whenever you make a financial transaction, especially when it comes to something like the insurance of the safety of you and your family for the future, you also have to take into consideration trust. Do you know who this company is? Are they trustworthy? What do we know about the company? Imagine you're in your living room and the Vault Tec guy shows up at the door. He's got a logo that lets you know, hey, I'm the guy from Vault Tec. You've seen the ads on television. You've read the newspaper. You know some things about what the United States government is doing in cooperation with my company. You probably have some of that background. Do you trust that? Do you trust it enough to spend that kind of money for the safety of your family moving forward? Today's episode, we will be exploring Vault Tec Corporation. We're going to dig into the things that we do know about the company, some speculation, some things on kind of the edge of the canon, and we're going to see what we can find out about Vault Tec. Now, who is Vault Tec? The Vault Tec Corporation, which is the official name. They were a company contracted by the United States government before the Great War to design and produce the Vault system, a vast network of complex bomb and research shelters. Vault Tec designed and constructed advanced technologies. It was a major military contractor before the Great War, and as such developed highly experimental, advanced, and secret technologies. In time, Vault Tec became so thoroughly integrated with top secret military research done by the Pentagon that it had practically become a department of the U.S. government. The company still remained in private hands, but because of its strong connection to the American government, the principal personnel of Vault Tec, its executives, top scientists, engineers, and so on, had to be aware of the true purpose of the Vault and Project Safehouse. Regardless of the American government's directives, Vault Tec's high-ranking personnel had no intention of submitting to a lottery and living underground with a bunch of human cattle in the intentionally defective vault facilities they had constructed. They'd come up with a plan for their own people. Vault Tec instead created their own private emergency shelter facility for the top employees and their families, removed from the larger Vault network and kept secret from the U.S. government. This facility is known as the Secret Vault. Vault Tec did not stop there. This private secret installation was used to research new, more advanced technologies that would benefit mankind in the midst of post-nuclear environment. The initiative included some extensive research with the forced evolutionary virus, the FEV, the results of which, unlike the government-controlled research on the virus's uses at Vault 87, was also kept secret from the government. It is known that the FEV stored in the secret vault was highly modified in an attempt to achieve its original goals and also avoid sterility among those subjects infected and mutated by it. However, this modification proved unsuccessful. Other Vault Tec projects that were intended for the corporation's own use included the development of their own robotic systems, a special biological weapons program, the results of which were probably the creation of a unique race of rad roaches and a variation of the deathclaw. I believe this is the furry deathclaw. Advanced biomedical research on the effects of rapid cell regeneration, and even an attempt to create a model of power armor to be used by Vault Tec personnel. Officially, the vaults were part of Project Safehouse, designed to protect the American population from nuclear holocaust. In actuality, they had a more sinister purpose, a project known as the Societal Preservation Program. So it's like a project inside of a project, a secret project. The vaults could not possibly have saved the civilians of the United States from the ravages of a nuclear war or a viral pandemic. With a population of almost 400 million by 2077, the U.S. would have needed over 400,000 vaults to protect every man, woman, and child. Vault Tec was commissioned by the American government to build only 122 such vaults. The true reason for the construction of the vaults was to allow the government to secretly study pre-selected segments of the American population, observe how they would react to the stresses of isolation, and how successfully they would recolonize the devastated Earth and stars after the vault opened. Only a few pre-selected vaults would be used for colonizing the surface. They were known as control vaults. These include Vault 8 and Vault 76. In addition, most vaults were designed to conduct often immoral experiments on live human test subjects. This project was the work of the Enclave. Is the connection that they hired Vault Tec to do this? Did they have a man on the inside? Was it a government operative who was part of the Enclave and also part of Vault Tec, or was it coordination between different people? We don't really know, but we do know that they were connected. The Enclave consider themselves prime candidates for colonizing the world or recolonizing the world after a nuclear holocaust, and to this end, commissioned the construction of their own shelters isolated from the Vault network. The results of the Vault experiments were intended to help prepare the Enclave for their recolonizing of Earth or colonizing another planet if Earth turned out to be uninhabitable. Right there. The go to the stars. The experiments were monitored by Vault Tec researchers in separate facilities. Sometimes select Vault inhabitants, frequently the overseer, were aware of the nature of the experiment and also gathered data. The experiment may be considered a success in terms of the data collected. Data that was much more important to the Vault Tec and Enclave scientists than a few 100,000 lives. Perhaps they felt that the trade-off was mutual, as most of the Vault dwellers would have died anyway, if not for the vaults. Although the vaults were supposedly designed with longevity in mind, many vaults had insufficient resources and are in dire need of repair. It is uncertain whether or not the vaults were actually supposed to malfunction as many did, or whether they were deliberately ill-constructed. Think back to Fallout 1. You, in Fallout 1, the main character, are sent from the vault to find a way to fix the water chip. Did the water chip, was it planned to fall apart and create a situation where the people in the vault would need to rise to the occasion to solve the situation? Or was it just faulty technology? We don't really know. The only known vaults to continuously function successfully that we're aware of are Vault 101, Vault 112, and Vault 81. Some of those might sound familiar. Their vault experiments were intended to continue indefinitely. In the year 2077, Vault Tec opened up an exhibit in Nuka World. If you play the Nuka World expansion of Fallout 4, then you may have visited this place. It's pretty cool. One of the purposes of the attraction was to draw in more Vault customers. But visitors and staff were subjected to radiation, subliminal messages, toxins, and brainwave disruption as part of Vault Tec's grand scheme. Even in the exhibit at Nuka World, they were doing experiments on people visiting. How morally bankrupt do you have to be to do that? Think about it. Families, children, think about it.